Welcome to the American Dream in the Eyes of Immigrants podcast. I am your host, Heidy De La Cruz, and I am on the mission to change the narrative of immigration, one immigrant story at a time. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the American Dream in the Eyes of Immigrants podcast. I am your host, Heidy De La Cruz, and today I have Miss Irene with us today, and she's going to be talking about her journey coming to the U.S. Welcome, Irene. Thank you so much for being here today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Heidi. Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you for sharing our stories. I'm so honored.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. I am always so grateful when people say yes to sharing their immigration story, just because we know it can be tough to talk about that. And so I don't take it lightly when people say yes. So thank you so much for being here. So if you can introduce yourself to the audience, who you are, tell us a little bit about what you do, and then we can get right into how was life back home before moving to the US.
Absolutely. So, my name is Irene Vaksberg. I am 56 years old. I came to this beautiful country when I was 12 from former Soviet Union. So, I've been here, pretty much all my life. I've lived here more than there and lived my American dream. I'm a hairdresser, um, built a beautiful business, lost it, rebuilt it, had my father's name in lights because he's no boys, and I said, "Don't worry, Dad. I will put your name in light." So that was that was cool to be able to see before he passed away.
Oh.
Now I am part of an incredible neurological wearable technology that gave me my life back. I was in a terrible car accident 15 years ago. Yeah, so that's kind of what I do. I help people with chronic pain, anxiety, depression, and the American dream is working for myself. So
Aw, yeah.
I always had my own business and had people work for me or with me
Uh,
for me.
with you, oh my goodness. Okay, so you mentioned that you've lived in the United States more than what you did in the former, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
Soviet Union. So just tell us what you remember from, yeah, from back home.
So when people ask me that questions, it's not a positive feeling, and it's
Hmm.
positive energy that I remember. Because we came to United States because we were prosecuted for being Jewish. So,
Oh.
being picked on, calling all kinds of names, telling me to go to another country because this is not your home. I'm like, I was born here. What country are you sending me to? And, like again, being making fun, like all we heard is that because we were Jewish, we couldn't go to good schools, we couldn't have a great job, we could not um go to university, even if we had the money, even if we had the brains for it, right? Or the score. So it's hard to live in that kind of environment. Of course, I remember grandparents, and that was beautiful, hanging out with them, going to a different city to see my other grandparents and spending time with them. But, when people ask, that's like, it's one of the biggest things that comes to me. And then also standing in line for bread or milk. And then you get to that place and there's none. And they're like, come back tomorrow. I'm like, it's been 2 hours in line.
Oh, no. Oh my god. Did you guys come straight to the US, or were you guys, in a different country before coming to the US?
So we came to Italy.
Mhm.
We stayed there for 6 months until the paperwork,
Yeah.
was complete. But that was the big shock, right? Being in Italy, walking into stores and seeing all this food, bananas. I've never seen one. And it puts a smile on my face. It's like I walked into the like a huge supermarket, and I saw this beautiful black man with this huge, huge, huge cart full of food, and like that vision still with me. And I was 12.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so then you guys went to Italy, and then you guys were able to come here?
Yes. And we came to
Okay.
Providence, Rhode Island first.
Oh, okay. Interesting, cool. So did you guys settle in Rhode Island? Is that where
So
you grew up?
yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just wondering, that I always wonder, like, which state where they settled? Was it Rhode Island that you guys
Yeah.
settled at?
Yeah, we started there because it was small community, and they embraced us like they wanted the Europe, the former Soviet Union Jews, and so it was great. And you know something, I am so blessed for that because now I live in Los Angeles, and if I started here, I would be a completely different person. So it was
Mhm.
perfect small town, even though, we still were bullied, made fun of our English, not speaking English, but still, like, that was after a while, it felt like a community. My first business was paper route. I was the paper girl of the year, took a picture with the mayor, so it was great.
Oh my goodness. So, tell us about the first cultural shock that you remember experiencing in the United States.
Well, of course, it was all about the food. Like, we didn't have to lie. Like, there was a toilet paper like that too, because
Oh,
we use newspaper, and you go like this, you scrambling, and that's what you use uh for that again. And I mean, this might be a little bit too much information, but pads, like, that was like a
oh,
deal. Those little things that never experience, they don't have that kind in Russian, and here, like, to go through that and have that, not even right away. My aunt come like 6, 7 months later, said, "What are you doing to your poor daughter? We have pads for this. Don't take, the old school cotton, and you put like a towel over it." Oh my God.
wow.
Much information, but that was something that was so right. Like, we didn't understand it. We didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I'm always curious to like learn and how people did things because obviously pads were not around, for like since the beginning of time. That's
Sure.
something that wasn't invented. So like I've always like wondered like how did people like survive or not women like survive with
Yeah.
all of that. But that's really interesting. Oh my goodness. Okay, so then tell us about a little bit of like growing up here in the US. You came as a 12-year-old growing up in Rhode Island. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, it was kind of, it was very different. Like, the script flipped, right?
Mm.
No one cared that we were Jewish. Now they cared that we were Russian. So it was the reverse discrimination. So, like, I could not win it anywhere. Like, I felt like I didn't belong anywhere. Like, they didn't want us in Russia because we were Jewish, and now they didn't want us in America because we were Russian. So it was a very
Oh,
difficult. Like, I didn't know how to acclimate to all of that, right?
yeah.
Because yeah, now it's like, oh, Jewish is okay, but no, now you're from former Soviet Union. That's not okay.
Yeah.
We don't want
Yep. Yep.
you're a
Mhm.
spy. You are KGB. I'm like, I'm just a girl trying
Yeah.
to learn how to speak English. And then, um, I think in 1980 or I can't remember that day, but not United States, Russia blew up a plane, and like, that was the worst. And like, it was my fault. They blamed me for it. I'm like sitting in the class with you. How in the world would I do that? But again, the stereotypes,
Yeah.
uh, the you know negative view, and of course, I mean, it wasn't positive. It is negative, but like, I felt like I was put into this basket with all the terrible things that former Soviet Union was doing.
Oh
There's
my
hor-
goodness. That just reminds me of like 9/11 of how just like everyone who Muslim or looked Muslim,
yeah,
we're just getting blamed. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry you had to go through that. Oh my gosh. That must be so hard on a little girl, because you're a little girl, you were just trying, you're here because, you had to leave and your parents brought you and you're just trying to, like you said, learn English and just trying to adapt and live your life and now you have to go through all. Oh my goodness, that must have been so hard. So I did see that you were able to visit back. Tell us about that.
so I have never been visited, never gone. My
Oh, okay, okay.
family has been there, and yeah, I mean, my sister went. I was actually pregnant with my first child, so that's
Oh,
I wasn't able to go, but I actually have no desire to go.
oh, okay.
Like,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, you know, I don't know. It's just never been one of the places that I wanted to visit, but maybe eventually my daughter wanted to go visit, but we'll see.
Yeah. You never know. Yeah.
We, oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that. So let's get into the type of work that you do. You mentioned a little bit earlier in your introduction. So tell us what you do and how you got into the work that you're doing.
Sure. So I knew I was going to be hairdresser at 11 years old. I'm blessed. Ever date worked a day in my life. I got paid tremendous amount of money for doing my hobby, heart and soul. Got up in the morning and went. And I started at 18. That's why I came to Los Angeles is to work for Josiah Bear. You were not born there yet, but this hairdresser, you might not know his name, but he was a very famous hairdresser in '80s, and I like that was my maybe 90s. That was He was my idol, and he was here. So I said, my goal, my dream is to work for him. And that's why I came here. So I actually had opportunity to do that. They did give me a job, but it wasn't for me. I It's like was too fluffy, too fancy, too out of the world. And I'm more like, let me do a haircut for canned food. Let's collect some blankets for homeless people. Like I could
Aw.
myself doing that and having a community that really truly um supported each other and I'm lifted. But I did find a place where that was possible. So I was very honored. And then I opened my own salon. And you know what I said? I saw my father's name in lights. And that was a beautiful, incredible moment. And hard work. And my father told us, listen, I brought you to this country. Everything is possible. You just
Mhm.
have to go for it. It won't be easy. You will be made fun of. Your English may be not perfect, but you can still open those doors. He said, we come
Yeah.
add to this country, not take away. So that he really installed morals and hard work. So it was beautiful, time for me to be able to open my own salon. I had 8 people working with me. They rented, and I turned it into a community. I had art shows. I created visibility for local artists, and it was great. And I did my fundraisers and all kinds of women group events, and it was fun. It was great. I loved it. And then things happened, and I had to sell it. And then I went back to Beverly Hills. That's where I started. And
Mhm.
yeah, I've been hairdresser for 40 years, but that changed. 15 years ago, I was in a terrible car accident that I lost my business. I lost my health, my mindset. I lived in chronic pain, anxiety, depression, and I prayed to go. It was a difficult moment.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so you mentioned let me go back a little bit because you mentioned you guys settled in Rhode Island, but then now you're in California. Okay, so hold on, let's back up. When and how did you end up in California? Because that's a whole different part of the country.
Yeah, so like I told you, that hairdresser Giselle Bear, he was
Yep.
my uncle, and he was in California. So at
Oh.
bags and I came to live here with an aunt and then rented an apartment. So I
Ah.
start my journey of becoming a hairdresser and living the American dream of having my own salon. It was so important for me.
Oh, okay. And how old were you when you moved? Just because, like, I know there's, chasing those dreams. Like, I hear people of like, going to LA to, pursue acting and everything, and they usually go at a very young age. So, how old were you when you made that jump?
18.
18, see? Okay, perfect, got that. Oh my goodness, so how do you like California versus Rhode Island? Because again, they're so different, and, like, even I mentioned, like, even in the United States, like, it seems like each state is, like, its own little world, so how do you like or dislike California versus, living in Rhode Island?
Well, I absolutely love California. I mean, it can be the weather, and I love the cultural aspect of it. I love culture, right? So I love the food, the music, the energy. If you get 5 minutes away, you can be almost like in a different country, and another,
Yeah.
going left, it's a whole different culture. So I love that. I love people. And I love variety of people. So for me, it's like United Nations, all in one place. And again, the
Aw.
fun.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome. Hi, Heidi here. Thank you so much for listening and supporting my podcast, but most importantly, the mission. If you would like to further support this podcast, there are a few ways you can do that. You can sign up for the newsletter. You'll receive the episodes straight to your inbox every time they drop. The link is in the show notes and the show description. You can subscribe to the podcast YouTube channel. And lastly, you can donate money. That link is also in the show notes and show description. If you would like to sponsor an episode or promote your business on this show, send me an email at Heidi@HeidiDelacruz.com. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the episode. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us and for being willing to talk about it. Cause, I know it's not easy. As like you mentioned, even when I asked like how was it back home, you immediately told me like, it's not good memories that I have. But thank you again so much for sharing. Last two questions is if anybody would like to get in contact with you or stay up to date with the things that you're doing, how can they go ahead and do that?
So I'm pretty much everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, what is it? Blue Sky. I'm also on Threads and StopSack. I can never pronounce it. LinkedIn. I am there as well. So if you just put my name into Google search, you'll see it.
Hey, SEO, there you go.
To YouTube to listen. I have a mission, I have purpose, I have passion to inspire people, especially immigrants.
Yeah, definitely. So I will definitely include your links in the show notes and show description. And the last question that I love asking all of my guests is what does the American dream mean to you?
Freedom.
Mm,
Freedom to do whatever your heart desires. Not easy, just like my father said. But it's possible with hard work, you can achieve anything you want. I could not achieve the success in where I used to live. It was just
yeah.
impossible. So free.
Yeah. Freedom. I love that. Thank you so much again for being here and sharing your story. And yes, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for listening to Mami Podcast.